What would you do in this situation? Your children are now older. They're getting into fourth, fifth, sixth grade. So they're sitting usually towards the back of the bus with the older elementary age kids. And as they're riding home from school, they overhear some kids, some older kids in the very back of the bus, using some really aggressive sexual language. They didn't even understand most of it, but it was directed at one of the girls on the bus. And it just made them feel really yucky inside, and they weren't sure. They weren't sure what to do in that situation. When they got off the bus, they came home, you were talking to them about their day, and they let you know what had happened. And you realized by some of these words that they were asking you about that they didn't know what they were. You realized that the kids who were saying these things probably were involved in watching some pretty violent pornography. And the things that they were saying to this girl were probably making her feel extremely unsafe and scared. How would you go about handling that situation? What would you do? Ideally, we can teach our children our own standards for what is appropriate to talk about and not talk about in public settings in regards to sexuality. We also need to teach our children about the importance of using respect and kindness when we're talking to other people. And we also are going to be teaching them about navigating this world where people have a lot of different beliefs, including different beliefs about sexuality. And we need to be respectful of all people. That being said, there are some things that are not okay to do or to talk about in public spaces. There are lots of things actually that are not okay to do in private spaces as well. But in this specific scenario, how would you handle it? What would be appropriate? If you know that the children who are making these comments on the bus come from households that don't have your same standards when it comes to teaching sexuality, and that you know that these kids are probably being exposed to things that you are actively trying to protect your children from, how would you handle it? I would love to hear your comments down below on what you think would be the appropriate thing to do. Because always in a school setting, I think that it's important to protect the kids that are going to school, protect the kids that are riding the bus. In a lot of ways, this was very much a bullying situation, but with sexual connotation. And as parents, we need to make sure that we're standing up for our own children and other people's children about what is okay. So, do you tell the principal? Do you ask that someone ride the bus with the kids? Do you talk to those children's parents? How is this going to be handled in a way that makes sure that that child who's being bullied is safe, and in a way that makes sure that those kind of comments aren't going to happen in the future? A lot of times we find ourselves in these situations where we're not exactly sure what to do next, and having a little forum of people sharing their ideas and experiences can be extremely helpful. If you are needing to talk to your children about healthy sexuality and you haven't started that conversation yet and you're not quite sure how to start, you can start here. This is just a simple guidebook with 7 principles specifically for parents in teaching about healthy sexuality, about divine sexuality, about the law of chastity, about the importance of respecting others and consent, and different ideas that parents need to teach their children as they're maturing from preschool age to adult, full of timelines and advice from our leaders, and spaces where you can write notes for your own family. You can find this link in the description box below. You can also find a link to my free resources page and a guidance page if you're facing some scenarios that you're not sure how to navigate and you need some extra support. I would love to meet with you. You'll also find links to my latest playlists about teaching healthy sexuality in family home evening lessons here, and also in some of the hidden risks of technology that we're currently facing as parents and how we can navigate those. I'll see you next time.